Hey guys, we're the Bros, and I'm Cable.
I'm John.
And today we have a whole slew of movies to talk about.
Yep.
Two of them coming out this year, or this summer, and then the last one is the next movie on our top list. I always forget what number we're on.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let's say
anymore.
24 or 25.
Something like that.
Somewhere around there. So,
yeah, the first movie we're going to talk about that's coming out the first week of July is The Amazing Spider-Man. I'm really looking forward to it. I really liked all the other Spider-Man movies. I was kind of disappointed that they were rebooting it, but we'll see how it turns out.
yeah, I was kind of apprehensive about this one. I was a little worried. I didn't really know how good it would be, but I've seen the Avengers twice now, so I saw the trailer for it, the theoretical trailer for it twice, and is it theoretical? I don't know if that's theatrical. I thought that sounded wrong, but I saw it twice, and both times I got pretty excited. Even though I knew it was coming the second time, I was still excited about it, and I watched all the other Spider-Mans, and I was kind of a fan, but I was never as big of a fan as a lot of people, and for some reason I never got into it as much, but this one looks pretty intense. It seems to combine humor with movie shooting style similar to The Dark Knight.
Mm-hmm.
Did you pick up on that, or is that just me?
I did. It's not going to be as dark as The Dark Knight.
Right.
I think it's going to have more comedy than the other three Spider-Man movies too, and yet also be a bit darker.
Yeah,
so,
it seems like... basically what you said.
I mean, he was always pretty funny in the comics, so I think this one is going to be closer to the character they actually had in the comics.
I'm actually excited about the darkness of the new movie, because that's kind of what I liked about the Batman movies so much, especially The Dark Knight, is they were good movies action-wise, and they would have been good no matter how they used, or how they wrote the script, but the way they have it more of a darker, it just made me feel like they were a little bit better for that.
Absolutely. And the thing that's really intriguing me about this movie is this movie probably has one of the best marketing campaigns I've ever seen. I think it's better than the Avengers and The Dark Knight Rises. And that's because they really have to convince people that they want to see this, even though it's only been a few years since the last Spider-Man came
whereas
out.
The Dark Knight Rises and the Avengers both have kind of a following already.
Yeah. But I think it's gonna pay off, and it should be a really good movie.
Yeah. So the next movie is the Pixar movie, Brave, that's coming out in, I think, a week from this Friday? So
a week from this
2 weeks?
Friday. Yeah. I love all the Pixar movies. The latest one, Cars 2, I heard wasn't that good. I don't know why, I guess the story wasn't as strong as all the others. But supposedly, people are saying this is gonna really bring up the quality of Pixar once again.
It looks good, and I never saw Cars 2 either. Sorry for all the Pixar fans out there. I've seen every other Pixar movie, but it seemed to me like Cars 2 just wasn't going to be as original. It's kind of with the Toy Stories. Of course, I love the Toy Stories, they're classics, but it seems like Pixar does better when they release a single movie than the series movies.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's...
I mean, the exception was with the Toy Story movies, because Toy Story 3 and Toy Story 2 were even better than the original. So I think we're really gonna have to wait to see what Monsters Inc. 2 is like.
Yeah, before you can really...
So if that is like Cars 2, then they really should stick with the single movies.
Yeah. And even though Toy Story 2 and 3 were better than the original, I actually, I don't know, I kind of didn't like them for the fact that it wasn't a new idea.
Yeah.
I mean, I did like them, but at the same time, whereas all the other Pixar movies, I'm like, oh, that's cool, I never thought of that. Or like, flying away in your house. That's kind of interesting. This
Up.
was like just another Toy Story movie, you know.
Stuff like Up and the first Monsters Inc. were really original, and I don't think a sequel would be as good. I mean, we'll see with Monsters Inc. 2. Like
I don't think they could. I mean, I guess they could, but an Up 2 would not. I can't think of any way that they could do that where it would be a good idea.
No. Many consider Up to be one of the best Pixar movies, so hopefully they don't ruin it.
Right.
But, yeah, I'm looking forward to Brave.
Yeah, it should be funny. It seems animated similarly to the Dragon, or How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah. I hope it's... I don't know, I think the thing I'm worried about is that it's not that original. So I hope they can really try to make it more than just a movie like How to Train Your Dragon mixed with a little Braveheart, I guess.
Yeah, I'm hoping that they do a good job, and I think they probably will.
I think so too.
They don't seem to disappoint very often, and even when they disappoint, it's a pretty good movie.
So yeah.
On to our next in the list. I really wish I had been able to remember what number we're on. Probably should have looked that up, but...
Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah. This is The Fellowship of the Ring.
The first movie in the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Soon to be a quadrilogy, or is it a little... I guess Hobbit's not really part of the trilogy, but at the same time it's a prequel to the trilogy.
Yeah.
Which, speaking of which, that should be a good movie too, but we'll talk about that later.
Doesn't come out till Christmas, so we have time.
Yeah.
But I really like The Fellowship of the Ring. When I first saw it, I was amazed by it. It's like no other movie I'd seen before. And over the years, Fellowship of the Ring, the other two I still really like, but Fellowship of the Ring has just kind of gone down a little bit just because it's so long. And there's not as much action, I guess.
Yeah. Similar with the books. I mean, although I've read all the books twice or 3 times, I don't remember, and I've liked them all, and I love all the movies, I can't really say that I don't like The Fellowship of the Ring as much, but it's for a very different reason. Whereas, especially in the movies, the Two Towers and the Return of the King are more action-based, and you watch them because the battle scenes are epic and stuff. The Fellowship of the Ring was more developing the story for the other two.
Yeah.
And they did a really good job on the movie. It's in that trilogy altogether is in my top 25 movies, definitely.
I mean, no matter what, it's a masterpiece.
Yes,
but
by far.
And I mean, compared to other movies, even though I think the quality has gone down, it's still really high on my favorite movie list. But yeah, I mean, sometimes the story is just slow, just because I already know what's happening.
Yeah.
So.
But if I watch it again, putting aside the fact that I already know what's going to happen, I have a newfound appreciation for the way they did it, and the ability of them to convey the story so similarly to the book in a good way that kept you entertained, but didn't add random battle scenes that weren't in the book. You know.
Yeah, that's one thing that a lot of fantasy movies struggle with. That's why we really don't have many fantasy movies, except for, movies like Lord of the Rings. And the thing is about Lord of the Rings is it's so good that people, no matter what the fantasy movie is, they're going to compare it to Lord of the Rings, and they're going to say it's not as good.
Which I kind of have to agree with.
Which is true, but I
mean, really, the only reason that the Fellowship of the Ring isn't as appreciated as the other two is that it's in the same trilogy as the other two.
Yeah.
I mean, by itself, it beats like movies like Aragon, which were horrible and couldn't fit to the book line at all. And I mean, personally, I think it beats most of the Harry Potter movies, and I'm a huge Harry Potter fan / nerd. But altogether, you need to see the movie.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely need to.
I mean, everyone's already seen it, but if you haven't,
you're
crazy.
You're deprived. I think it's going to be one of the great classics of American movies.
Definitely. I can't really think of too many other movies from the last decade that are gonna stand the test of time like the Lord of the Rings trilogy. And as we go up the list, we're gonna be reviewing the other two.
Yes.
So.
And we'll be reviewing more great movies. Most of the ones to come, many of them I consider to be maybe not classics on the level as Lord of the Rings, but all of them are great movies, and some of them are classics, similar to Lord of the Rings.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, so that's basically all for today.
Yep. Rate.
Like.
Comment.
Subscribe.
Favorite.
Share. Is there something else? No, I think
nope.
That's about it.
We're the bros,
and we wish you a good day.